I'm Michelle, owner of Charlotte Pilates in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're gonna do a small little, what I will call booty blaster workout. I generally don't plan my workouts. I just know that I kind of wanted to work the hips a little bit. So this could be probably about 15, maybe 30 minutes. We'll see how it goes. We are going to be using a band. So if you have these like circle bands, that would be really helpful. Or you could always use just like a regular band. A lot of the times these guys break. And so sometimes if they do break, you have like a smaller end, you can always just like tie it around your legs. So if you don't have a circular band, you can always just take the band and wrap it around your thighs like so, and just tie it into a knot, and it will give you the same type of workout, see it's around my legs, that these circular bands would give you. So either will be fine, but first we are going to start out with a little hip mobility work, just to kind of get those hips loosened up. So we're gonna sit in our mermaid style. So I have my right leg forward, left leg back. And I'm going to kind of tip into my hip and then sit back down. So I'm just getting a little rotation of this hip joint, focusing on the left hip. You may feel it's a little bit harder to get that hip down into the mat. And then I'm going to stay here and extend the leg, lower, sit back. I'll repeat that one 5 times. Just feeling that stretching of the hip and flexing back into it. 2 more. Last one. Good. So now you may need your hands to assist you either way, side, front, behind you, whatever. I know everybody's hips and knees are different. So I'm gonna lean into my right hip and swing my left leg around, and then swing it all the way back. Swinging it around and all the way back. So again, you can always like put your hands on the floor if you need that little bit of body weight assistance. Last one, and back. So now we're gonna spiral the legs. So I'm going to turn and face the back, and turn and face forward. So we're just kind of rotating into the hips in a back and forth motion. 3, 2, last one, and center. Now we will swing around for the other side. So left leg's forward, right leg's back, and I'm going to tip into my left hip, and then work on sitting into that right hip. Tip and sink back. 3. And I'm feeling on this side, it's a little bit tighter in my knee. 1 more. And then we're gonna tip over to the left, and we're gonna extend that right leg, bend and lower. Tip and extend, bend and lower. 3, 4, 1 more, and lower. So this is where we're gonna swing the leg around. No side is created equal. So it's when you may need the extra assistance with your hands, whatever works for you. We're gonna swing that leg forward and swing the leg back. So each time that I'm bringing the leg back, I'm trying to sit back into that hip again. One more round. Good. So now we're going to rotate. So I'm turning to the back, and then I'm turning to the front. Turning to the back, and turning to the front. And again, this is one of those things that if you need that assistance of your hands, my mat's getting all pulled up from the rug. 1 more. All right, so now I'm going to take one of my circular bands, get those out of the way. I'm going to tie them around my thighs. And I'm going to lay on my left side to start. So you have a couple different variations. You can lay all the way down and completely lengthen out, but you can see I'm very dipped in my waistline. So this is still Pilates. We are working our core, even though we're having a focus of our glutes. So what I want to do is lengthen out my spine. So now you can see my waistline is longer. I'm very curvy on my sides, so you might not have as big of a dip, but you can see when that happens, my hip shifts, right? So now my hips are more stacked. So this is where we want to be. My knees are kind of at a downward angle, angling down towards the corner of my mat. You can also prop up onto your forearm. I personally don't like this because after a while, my neck and my shoulder just get really tight, and I feel like I get just as much core work laying down and staying elongated and lifted in my waistline. But you do you. Feet stay glued together, top knee rotates open with the goal of keeping those hips stacked. 2. We're going to 10 on this one. And I'm really emphasizing that squeeze at the top, really trying to focus on my butt muscles. 4, 3, 2, one last time, and lower. Lifting those feet up. So now I'm internally rotated, but you can see I'm still trying to stay long in my waistline. I'm not completely collapsing in those ribs. So I'm staying lifted with the feet lifted, same exact move. Some of you may start to feel this bottom hip because it's stabilizing you. It's keeping you grounded into the mat. 8, last 2, 9, last 1, 10, lower down. Good. So now we're going to float the whole entire top leg. Lift is 1, lower is 1, lift is 1, lower is 1. So I'm focusing on moving from my leg, hip, butt socket, right? So I call the thas, where the thigh meets the ass. Checking in with those ribs, making sure I'm in that long line. We've got 3, 2, and 1, lowering down. Starting to feel that hip working. We're gonna add on. So with this leg fire hydrant, I'm gonna extend the leg out long, but I'm still keeping it stacked over my bottom leg. It hasn't kicked forward. I'm bending that leg back in and lowering it down. Keeping that waistline long, lift, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. Keeping that tail wide behind you. 3, 2, last 1, and bend. Good. So now we are going to extend the leg out long in front of us. So straighten the leg. I'm still in line with my bottom leg. I'm still lengthening out that waistline, and I'm going to pulse up for 10, 9. Focus on moving from the thigh, the hip, not where your band is attached, not your knee, not your foot. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to keep the leg lifted, and I'm sweeping it back in line with my spine. So I'm opening the front of that hip, and I'm flexing forward, sweeping back and forward. I'm kind of thinking I maybe should have grabbed a lighter band because I am feeling this. 6. Stay long in that waistline for 5 and 4 for 3. Last 2 and 1. Lower it down. So my leg is long and it's out in line with the hip. Exhale, lift and lower, lift, and lower. Last two. Last one. And rest. So we're gonna roll over onto our back, slide this out of our legs, and do a little figure 4 stretch. Whew, stretching out that butt. Flexing the foot. Breathing into that right hip. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So again, legs through just above the knees. We're gonna lay on our right side. So again, that waistline needs to be nice and long. So I'm lifting up those ribs, stacking my shoulders, ribs, and my hips. Feet stay glued together, open for 10. Keeping hips stacked. Try not to let the hip fall behind you. 4, 3, 2, 1, lower. Lift your feet up. Keep those ribs lifted and stacked, and the top knee opens. 2, 3, 4. Try not to fall forward in your body. 8, 9, 10, lower down. This is where we fire hydrant, so the whole thigh lifts as one, up and down, up and down. Exhale, lift. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. This is where we add in that extending of the leg. So lift, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. For 3. Checking in with those hips, making sure they're not tucking your tail under. Let go of the glutes so you can move your thigh bone more effortlessly. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it long. Pulse up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sweep the leg back. Sweep the leg forward. Exhale, back and forward. Focus on the hamstring, pulling the leg back. For 4. Last 3. Last 2. Hold it back on 1. Lower the leg down. Still focusing on that outer hip and thigh, staying long and lifted from your waistline. Exhale, up. Keep your foot flexed. 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, we will slide that strap off of that left leg and do a figure 4 stretch. So if you grab at your shin like I have it, this is a little bit more intense stretch into that hip. I'm also taking my left elbow and pushing that left knee away from me. Flexing the left foot is also helpful, giving you a little bit more intensity into the stretch. Good. So I'm going to slide that left leg back in. Adjust my hair clip here. And my feet are grounded. So I'm focusing on being about butt bone distance wide. So, and my feet are right underneath my heels. I'm going to lift my hips up. I'm pushing out against the band, focusing on those outer glutes, keeping my ribs heavy so that my back stays nice and long. So I don't want to be bowed up and dumping into my shoulders, my neck, my head, okay? So I'm keeping this long line from my shoulders to my knees. Release the band, lower those hips. Lift, squeeze, release, and lower. Watching that the feet don't roll too much, so that you're really focusing more on that movement coming from your upper outer thigh. Two more. Last one. Lower. Lift those hips back up, and let's just pulse it for 10. 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it wide. So your knees are maintaining that tension against the band. We're going to pulse our hips up for 10. 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Parallel with those feet still. They're still butt bone distance. We're going to alternate our legs. So we're going to lift up, ground down into that right foot, pull the left leg to tabletop, lower the leg down, pull the right leg to tabletop, and lower. Stay lifted. 2. Pressing through back of the arms and shoulders. Feel again that those ribs are knit down towards your hips. Don't let them flare to the sky. Really grounding into the stabilized foot into the floor. 3, 2. Last set each side. Lower your foot and lower those hips down. Hug those knees into your chest, giving a little rock from side to side, just relaxing your lower back. Keeping the band at your thighs. Find a little frog leg position with your thighs. So my heels are together in my Pilates V, and my knees are pointing towards my shoulders. Dropping that tail heavy into the mat. So it does kind of feel like you have a little natural space to your lower back. Upper ab curls, flexing the head and chest forward. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So my hips stay steady, my glutes stay relaxed. I'm just flexing from my ribs for 2. On this last one, stay lifted. Let the knees close and open, close and open. 3. 10. Lower down. I'm going to slide my band to my outer ankles, to my shins. Legs are straight up to the sky. You can also slide your hands under your hips to support and protect that lower back. Flex through the feet. Focus more at your outer hips, not where the band is. Okay? This little black dot makes me look like I'm pregnant. I'm not. Like, that's not me. This isn't me. I just saw that in the video. That's kind of funny. So keeping the legs long, and you're pushing out against the thighs. 2, 3, 4. Only fur babies for me, no real babies. More power to people who have lots of kids. 3, 2, 1. We're going to lower those legs about halfway down. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lowering those legs all the way to your point of control. For me, I'm curling my head and chest up, staying long, staying lifted, and push out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last 2, 9. Last one, 10. Fold those legs back up to the sky. So you have this option of either keeping your head down or keeping your head lifted. I'm gonna keep my head lifted because I wanna work my abs just a little bit more. But as we lower lift those legs, we're beating out against the band. And so whatever number, works for you, for your range of motion, your distance of how low you can go. So you can curl your head up or keep your head down, and we're pulsing as we lower. Maintaining that neutral spine in your lower waistline, making sure the hips and the back never shift or change. We're going for 2 more rounds, up and down. Try to control the band as you push out. 1 more round. Good. Hug those knees in. Slide your band back around your thighs. And then we'll carefully rock on up to seated. Gotta fix my hair from laying down. So this next series, we're gonna do this at a quadruped position. So on your hands and your knees, okay? So swinging around, making sure your shoulders, your ribs, your hips are stacked, okay? You may have to adjust your band. Sometimes they slide around, so just make sure that it's in the right spot for you. And we're still focusing on this outer hip, outer thigh area. Try not to push and pull from where your band is attached. Stay lifted and strong through the ribs and shoulders. Like, don't sink and sag, because then you're just gonna feel this a lot into your wrists, your elbows, maybe even your shoulders and your neck. So we're running to stay strong and tall in that spine. Our magic number for this series is gonna be 8. So we're gonna fire hydrant that leg out to the side and back down. Keeping that gaze out in front of you, which helps you lift up taller out of your arms. We've got 3, 2, 1, lower it down. So on this next round, we're going straight back. We're keeping the leg bent as though we're lifting the thigh up to hip level and dropping that knee back down. For 7, 6, stay strong and tall. Try not to lean into that left side. 3, 2, 1, lower. Now we're going to extend the leg straight back behind us. So we're kicking out long, flexing back in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it long on 8. Pulse straight leg up, up, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the leg to the opposite side of the room. So for me, it's the left leg, or left side of the room. And I'm just sitting back into that heel and maybe looking back over the left shoulder towards the right foot and feeling that stretch down that whole right side body. And then bringing that knee back down. And we'll go to the other side. I'll spin around. So 1, I don't hit my wall, but 2, so that you guys can see better. So, nice and tall, long and lifted. And we're taking that leg out to the side and down for 8, 7. You may start to feel how you may lean more on one side versus the other. So really focus on trying to stay centered, staying balanced. Last 2. Last 1, taking it behind you. Up, tap it down. Up, tap it down. Last 1. Then we're extending the leg. Reach straight back, bend it in. Reach straight back, bend it in. 3, 4. Stay lifted out of those shoulders. Hold it long. Pulse it. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Sit back. Oh, sorry, forgot that one stretch. Toes over to the right, looking over that right shoulder And breathing into the left side body. And then back to center. And now you can sit back into your hips, into a child's pose stretch. Breathing into the lower back, breathing into those hips. Maybe letting those knees go a little bit wider so your chest can sink down through your hips. Taking those arms over to the right. Feel your left hip get heavy towards your heel as your left arm reaches a little further away from you. And then taking that over to the right. Right hip gets heavy. Your right arm stretches longer. And then coming back to the center, rolling it up to seated. And then you guys are all through. Thank you for joining me for a little booty blaster, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.